everybody, I'm Sam the Cooking Guy, and you are at a live event with me. This is how to perfect your backyard barbecue skills. And this is for you guys. This is for Fresh Pass subscribers and for you members. You special people, you. Look at you in your own little club that you get to come do stuff like this. By the way, if you've not looked at the benefits that come with the Fresh Pass subscription, you should take a look because you get a ton of stuff. Way more back than your membership fee. But we've got all kinds of stuff to do. So I'm Sam Zion, Sam the Cooking Guy. This is my backyard, my home. This is where we shoot our YouTube channel. We have almost 3.5 million subscribers now. And we make food that we say is big in taste, but small in effort. Everything that I do, you guys can do. Even the ones that are sitting there going, oh, Sam, come on. I'm not really a cook, but I like to watch it. And I say that's cool. Watch all you want. But get into a kitchen at some point. Get to the grill. Get outside and make something. Because here's the reality of the situation. You can ride a bike. I know that for a fact. I also know there was a time in your life when you couldn't ride a bike. And the difference between then and now is a little thing called practice. Right, producer Jeff?
That's correct.
It's practice. You can't make a pineapple upside down cake. Well, try it. And if it doesn't come out, then you analyze. Well, it's too sweet, so cut back on the sugar. It's burnt, cut back on the time in the oven. Look, just because some fancy chef in a cookbook says do this, this, and this, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to turn out perfect for you. Your oven may not be at temp. You may, all kinds of reasons. But our stuff, what we do here, what we're doing today, is stuff that you can make. Let me tell you what we're making, and then we'll get started. Are people jumping in, logging on, Producer Jeff?
They're coming on.
They're coming on. Okay, good. And if you're happy, you're in a good mood right now, give us a little happy face emoji. That would be good. If you're, I don't know what time you're watching this, maybe you have a cocktail in your hand. You give a little cocktail emoji. It's all good. We're just here to have a good time, and we'll be answering some of your questions along the way that you already put in when you registered, and maybe some live questions. We're here for you. So let me tell you what we're making. We're making foolproof sticky sweet ribs. You will be the hero of your next block party if you make these. Helicopter above. Is that another camera up there, Jeff?
We got the drones coming.
We got the drones coming, right. So sticky sweet ribs, fantastic. We're gonna make chicken smash sliders with a cilantro lime aioli. It sounds fancy. It's not, it's just crazy delicious. Chimichurri shrimp that I'm gonna cook right here on the flat top. And we're gonna end with the most perfect cedar plank salmon you've ever had. All of that in the next 40 minutes. We can do that. So we're gonna start right here with the ribs because this is where we have to get going, and wait till you see how this goes down. All right. For the camera's benefit, I turn this around and you can see what we've got. You have right here the Signature Select pork loin back ribs, extra meaty. These ribs like this are what I buy when I make ribs all the time. So in the package form, out of the package form. Let me show you what we're gonna do with these guys now. You could just cook them like this. We're gonna pre-roast them in the oven, but you could just do it like this. Or you could, if you were so inclined, take off this back membrane. I'll show you how to do it. You can decide whether you want to or not. It's a bit of a pain, but it's okay. The people that are super hardcore barbecuers, smokers, they take off the membrane. They say it makes eating it better. So I've taken my little knife right here, little paring knife, and this is a bone right here. So I just, on top, I just want to get started, that little membrane layer. And then the only way to do it is to get a piece of paper towel because it's super slippery. You try and get a little piece. Let me try and turn this so you can see here, Chancey. You get a little piece like this, and then you pull off. And sometimes you get lucky and it almost comes off in the first pull. Ah, I'm not lucky. Oh, I have some in the oven and that one was perfect. And I knew I jinxed myself. There you go, right? So you get this off, you're good. So now we're ready to deal with these. And here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a binder on, and we're using yellow mustard. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna taste this mustard when we're finished. it's just gonna help everything stick, the rub that we're gonna make. So this gets all lathered up. We do both sides. And by the way, all the recipes are online. You don't have to write anything down. This is great. Okay, we've got that. Now look at what we've got. Here's our simple, basic, everyday little rub that you want to just make and keep. This is garlic powder, granulated garlic, chili powder. I happen to be using chipotle chili powder. There's a little more kick, but use whichever one you want. Black pepper, kosher salt. You see the kosher salt is chunky, right? That's the one restaurants use. That's what chefs use. Table salt, the iodized stuff, we don't use that. We want a good coarse salt. And then a little brown sugar. So these things we just mix. Look, I'm cooking with one hand. Mom, I'm cooking with one hand. And then onto the ribs, right? So we'll start back first, and we sprinkle. And you can be generous with this. Just go at it. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Do a nice job. Flip over. We finish here. Fantastic, fantastic. You don't want to make your own rub? Buy a rub. You don't want to buy a rub? You want to put these in the oven naked? You can absolutely do that. I'm telling you that by the time we're done with the little sauce we're going to make, they're going to be great. Okay, here's how I like to cook them. I take a baking sheet with a rack. I like to elevate it off the deck. I think it cooks better, but I've done it many times without the rack. I was at somebody's house and they didn't have one, and that's okay. Let me just wash my hands here before I get any further. We wash our hands, it's important. I had a series on Discovery's Health Channel for a year. And I would cook, and my dogs would walk into the shot, and I'd pick up the dog, and then I'd put the dog down, and I'd continue cooking. And the Discovery people would always send me a note saying, please remember, you have to tell people to wash their hands. And I would say, I'm cooking for myself and the crew, and they all have dogs, and they're all okay with it. But no, the Discovery people were kind of wacky. Anyway, look, we've got this done. We clean as we go, folks. Makes it easier after. Ribs, mustard, our rub. Now they're ready to go in the oven. We're going to add one more thing, and this is plain, inexpensive white vinegar. Maybe, I don't know, 3 tablespoons, a quarter of a cup. And what this is going to do under the foil that I don't have, but that's okay, you don't need to see foil, you understand. Cover this tightly with foil. That vinegar is going to steam inside, and it's going to help break down the tissues and make these guys extra tender. They're going to be so delicious. It won't even be funny. So I'll set these aside. Jill, you can bring out the ones inside. Take those guys away, and I'll give you this too. That's Jill, ladies and gentlemen. She's going to make your time here much more efficient than if it was just me trying to do this myself. But now we're going to make this little sauce. And check this out, because it's the best thing ever. This is your favorite barbecue sauce, and that's actually not a brand, though it could be. Any one you want. I like a plain sauce. We're going to add only 2 things to it. One is about a quarter of a cup of brown sugar. Remember I called these sticky sweet, right? Sticky sweet. Brown sugar, and this is maple syrup. If you had pancake syrup at home, you could use that. Signature Select, pancake syrup, on your shelf, use that. You don't have to go fancy. This is probably not the place to use that special Canadian maple syrup that your uncle brought back on a trip to Montreal a couple years ago. Thank you. You can just leave it right there for 1 second. Yeah, thank you, Joe. So all we're doing with this is this. We're mixing. Done. It's done. It's done. Listen, people freak out about doing everything at the last minute. And I say, balderdash, don't freak out. Do things ahead of time. As much as you can do ahead of time, do it. Make this the day before, 2 days before. Make the rub 3 days before, a week before. The ribs, peel off the membrane, get it on the thing. So here we are. And now look what you're going to see. This is the fun part for me. Now, I'm going to tell you, I want you to be very careful at this point because there's going to be steam. Oh, steam and heat. Watch. And liquid. Oh, this is so glorious. I can't believe it. I love it. And now watch what happens. When you take your little knife, they just go in. Look, it's a shame. They've just given up any fight that they've had. These are fantastic. These are going to literally be falling off the bone tender. And I know the competition guys will say, no, you can't have that. What you have to have is you have to have some chew, some pull to them. But I say, I don't know. I'm kind of partial to tender. So now they're cooked. Sorry for the noise. They're fully cooked. And they look okay, but they're about to look way, way better because we're going to finish them off on the grill right now. Chancey, you can come over here. We've got cameras over here. Open the lid, and let's see what we've got. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just give the grill a little spray because we don't want anything sticking. I'm going right down the middle. Always keep a can of that around. You'll be very glad that you've got it. And now our ribs are going to come like this. Let me try and bring this guy over so I'm not going to burn myself. And we're going to now go face down on the grill. Oh. See this? When the bones pull away, when the meat pulls away from the bones like this, that's a very good sign, a very good sign. But we're not saucing yet, because here's the rules about saucing. When you have something sweet, and you saw what we put into it, you know it's sweet. When you start saucing, it's going to start burning, and we don't want that yet. What we want right now is just color. Just get some color. Those little marks that you get, the grill stripes, that's, yes, it's color, yes, it looks good. It's also flavor and texture, and that's a very important thing. So this is only going to take a few minutes. If I turn it back, look at, they're just really starting to give up. This is what I want. So now we can do this. Now we take our sauce and we brush on. Once you just get that first side colored up a little bit, a few marks, now we're okay. Oh, goodness gracious. If you think this looks good, let us know. Send us an emoji that lets us know how you feel about something like this. So great. So now back to the other side. Oh boy, what a treat. Yes, and do this side too. I know there's not much meat back here, but it's always important. You want to make sure that when you're eating, you're getting the flavor all the way through. But now that we've got the sweet, sticky side down, now we're going to start picking up some more color, and that's a very good thing. So let's see. One rack, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13. So you can count on that. Every rack will have this. So when you're thinking about how much to feed, how much to buy for your family, I don't know, think about how many ribs you can eat. Don't forget, these were the select extra meaty. And you can see the extra meatiness on here. All right, let's give these guys a flip. And now I continue the basting. I'll baste a couple times, I'll flip a couple times. So fantastic. So fantastic. All right. Let's let them do a little bit more. And if you want to change the orientation, oops, like this. By the way, if you've ever watched even 10 minutes of Sam the Cooking Guy YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, you'll know that we always forget something or break or drop something. So somewhere in this next 40 minutes or however much we got left, that's going to happen. I'm turning on my flat top because we're going to get ready for the Chimichurri shrimp. This is the best hack ever. You're going to find out in a minute or two. Okay. So, it's gorgeous. They're gorgeous. I always give one final baste when I go to take them off. And if you want to be really fancy, you can always do this. That was for the camera's benefit. Chefs love those things. They're fun. We use them, well, at one of my restaurants, we finish off our salmon with a torch. Okay, so now I've got this. Let's take our ribs. Try not to break anything. Get them on there. Yeah, there you go, Chancey. Let the people see that. That is a thing of beauty. I could probably clean up the side a little bit. but come on now. And if you want to be a little extra fancy right at the end, a little more of the seasoning is never gonna hurt, and it's only gonna add a little flavor, but a pretty little look too. All right, that's one down and looking great. Maybe, I wanna have a bite, but I gotta get into the next one. And that's gonna make me sticky and messy. All right, let's go over here, shrimp with chimichurri. You can bring out that second tray. Thank you. These guys can go away. We good so far. Everybody happy?
We have a quick rib.
Oh, a rib question. Here we go.
Scott in Chicago shops at Jewel Osco.
Jewel Osco.
He asks, baby back or St. Louis?
Yeah, I'm a baby back guy. You know, there's an extra kind of bone situation, Scott, in the St. Louis. I have a friend that has a barbecue place, and he does the St. Louis, and I go, dude, but there's this little, you're not just like these guys, cut and to eat. I need to do that. Thank you, Joe. I don't like that little bone thing, so I'm gonna do this. I wasn't going to, and now I have to. I'm just gonna cut one out so you can see it. Look at this. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is literally falling off the bone. Here's the thing. This is what I'm talking about. That right there. Look how meaty these things are. These are the ones to buy. Okay, fine. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's just wrong. On so many fronts, I can't believe it. I'm gonna tell you something. Anybody tells you ribs are hard, you just saw how hard they are not. Now wait for this. Now we got chimichurri happening. Chimichurri is that great South American parsley, garlic elixir. And it all happens in a processor, and it happens in about 2 seconds. And what it will do to the shrimp is amazing. So let's make this first. So all we're gonna do is put the following ingredients in. Make sure I've got power. This is flat leaf parsley. Ahead of it, I'll take not the stem part, just up here, and go twist and drop that in, just like that, okay? And everything else will follow. And that's gonna be this. It's gonna be approximately 6 cloves of garlic peeled in. Come on, you. 2 teaspoons of dried oregano, or you could put fresh in, and you always use more if it's fresh because it's not quite as potent. You put a tablespoon of fresh oregano in, it would be fine. A couple other little seasonings here. We've got dry cumin, in we go. We've got red pepper flakes. It's about a half a teaspoon or so of each. A little kosher salt again. And by the way, kosher salt used the right way doesn't make food salty. It enhances the natural flavors of whatever it is. 2 identical steaks cut from the exact same part of the cow. They're the same weight, the same size, the same marbling. You cook them the exact same way. The only difference is one you add kosher salt and nothing to the other one. The difference will be night and day on the taste scale. The one with salt could be a 95 and the one without salt, same steak, is gonna be a 70. I'm telling you, it is everything. And to show you how important salt is, it's in almost everything that you bake, and your brownies and your lemon tarts aren't salty. They're just lemony or chocolatier. It's important. Kosher salt. They have it at Vaughn's, at Albertsons, at Pavilions, wait, I didn't realize all these stores, Acme Markets, Randall's, Safeway, Shaw Supermarket, Star Market, Tom Thumb, all of these under the Albertsons banner, and I think more, right? So you can find kosher salt there, and if they don't have it, go to the manager and say, Sam the cooking guy said we should have kosher salt. All right, I'm not finished. 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. This goes in. I have the juice of 1 lemon, and you know that trick, right? If you roll it, oh, I've ruined your camera shot or something, have I, with this? Okay. If you roll it, you break up the fibers inside. And then when you cut it, watch how much juice comes out. And I don't want the seed, so I'll do it through my hand. Look at, I think I got a seed in there. It's a processor, it'll be fine. And then this one. Do you see what's coming out of this thing? It's like somebody turned on a hose. There's a school of thought that says the other thing that you can do is poke a couple small holes in your lemon and put it in the microwave. I think that's a ridiculous concept. I really do. I don't think you should do that. I think what you should do is what I just did. Okay, we've got everything in. All right, now, we take our processor lid. By the way, it's a very useful piece of equipment. In fact, I make pizza dough in this in 3 minutes. 3-minute pizza dough in this, and it's fantastic. Is it winning awards? I don't know, maybe, based on what I put on top of it. So now we're gonna mix this. If you stop now, you basically have a salad in here, which is not really what we want. So here's the important part. This is 2/3 of a cup of olive oil, nice olive oil. So in we go, and we'll drizzle it, and you'll hear the sound change, and it starts to come together. Wait for it. Okay, it didn't really do it all that much. Jill, I think I can do this. Okay, let me show you what you've got here. Let me show you what you've got. Let me get a spoon. Do you know? Do you have any idea? The flavor, the everything in this? All right, so let's just take this out. Watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run out of room in about 2 seconds. I'm gonna put it back in here. And then we're gonna deal with our shrimp. Okay. This gorgeous, rich, citrusy, little bit of spice. Let me hand this to Joe because I'm gonna need this for the chicken. And I'll pull this away and turn this down. And now we're getting ready for our shrimp. But we're gonna serve by putting a little extra right here. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, it's no coincidence that all restaurants, almost all restaurants, serve on white plates. Everything looks good on white. So Chancey, if you come over here now, let's just do a little Shrimp 101 for the people. Okay, here's what we got. We've got to clean up because we're working clean. This is live, by the way, so bear with me if there's little moments when I gotta clean up. Here's what we're starting with. We're starting with the Waterfront Bistro shrimp. Now I'm going to teach you some things about shrimp. Shrimp are sold by how many there are in a pound. These are 1620s. This is the size that I like. I love this size. I can do anything with this. I could chop it up, or I can use them whole. The bigger this number, the smaller the shrimp are. 5160s are little guys. 3140s are in between those and these. And you'll find all of those in the freezer section, at the supermarket where you go, Waterfront Bistro. I cannot tell you how many hundreds of pounds of this exact shrimp I have bought over my lifetime of cooking. I always have them in my freezer because there's so many things you can do with them. And here's how they look when they come out. And by the way, these guys are peeled and deveined, but the tail is left on. Because sometimes I like to serve it with the tail, like a little handle, like if it was in a chowder or something. But for our purposes today, I took a bunch of these, I put them in a bowl with cold water, changed the water a couple times, and in, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, they're done. And they're defrosted and they look like this, okay? So here's what we want to do. We want to skewer them without the tails. So I just pull. If you pinch right where the tail part meets the shrimp, watch what happens. Boop, it just comes right off. Show you that again. Boop, it just comes right off. Okay, and now we're gonna take a skewer, any kind you want. And I think this is a common way for people to skewer shrimp. Like that. And I'm not a fan of this. I'm a fan of this. The green come from. I'm a fan of this. I'm a fan of this. Not this, this. Not this, this. I could keep going. So all you do is you take it and you come to the tail end, and you take your skewer and in you go. And you just take your time and you slowly thread it through. and straighten as you're going and straighten. And it won't be perfect, but it will be that. It's great. This is everything you want, all right? I don't need to do the rest of those. I'll put those there. Jill can have those when she wants. So here's our shrimp. So we're only going to give them a couple of things, right? Just a little bit of oil right now, and the oil is going to help our seasoning stick, and our seasoning is going to be just a little salt and pepper. Flip them over. And by the way, these skewers are not soaked in water. They have not been soaked in water because I'm doing them right here on the flat top. If I wanted to do them on the grill, yeah, I would soak them because I don't want them burning up. So, here they are. Now we come over and we do this. We put them right on. Just spread them out. I say in my best Canadian accent. And give them just a little movement because that will help them not stick. But now, watch what we do. Now we're going to take this brush, rinse the barbecue sauce off it. Okay, oh my goodness, I'm still thinking about those ribs. Still. And now we come back here. And just like the ribs, once we start to turn them a bit, then we can start putting a little bit of this on. So here's why this is such a great thing to do. It's not only is it delicious and super healthy. Look, so many appetizers that people make these days are heavy, loaded down with cheese and bread and stuff like that. And listen, I'm a fan of cheese and bread and stuff like that, but not always. So one, you're giving your guests or you something that's way, way lighter. But second, what I love to do is I love to have these all skewered up. And then when your friends come over, do you know what they do? They get to skewer their own. They think they're just having fun. They don't realize how crafty you've been because now you get to, what's it called? Oh yes, enjoy yourself at your own party. And we know that doesn't always happen because you're running around like a crazy person. So a little more turning. And I want to remind you of something really, really important. Don't overcook them. They don't take very long. Do not overcook them. You can eat raw shrimp. I've done it before. So just don't. If you can eat it raw, I'm going to tell you the same thing with the salmon. I'm not going to want you to overcook the salmon. Right, we're almost there. Talk about beautiful. So some of the prettiest things you've ever seen. And then, for an absolutely unnecessary step, and by the way, you don't need a giant industrial one like that. They make small little hand torches, like for torching creme brulee, that kind of thing. All right. The obvious thing to do, I think, would be see how they are. How long have they been on? 2 minutes? They're absolutely glorious. So then we come to our little plate. We put them down, we make them pretty. You know, it makes me nuts when I see people take the time to make beautiful food and then they put it on like their kid's purple plastic Barney plate. Please don't do that. Just a couple of nice serving pieces. That's all you need. A little more. Right? How's that? I mean, come on now. Does it get any prettier than that? Does it get easier than that? Make the chimichurri the day before. Or if you really want a super big hack, go to the condiment aisle at your supermarket because I can tell you what's there. This. I like it when you make it, but okay. That's number 2. Number 3 are the chicken smash patties back with the lime cilantro aioli. Let me just clean my grill so I'm ready. A question, shrimp question, yeah.
Sherry in Chicago.
Sherry in Chicago. Love her.
What other ways do you like to cook
Okay. So the shrimp that I bought, this size, or any size, I defrost them, back here. I defrost them, I take the tails off, I cut them up, and I throw them on this for a stir fry. All my other vegetables are here. They're done. The second to last thing would be the shrimp going in because they don't take very much time. And then my cold rice goes in. Mix, 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 mix. Shrimp fried rice. It's fantastic. Shrimp burritos. Cook the shrimp on here, the big ones, then throw them in a big flour tortilla with some refried beans. A little hot sauce, maybe a handful of cheese, roll it up, finish it on the flat top, get it all nice and melty and crispy on the outside. Here's the best trick ever. You can take raw shrimp and add them to any soup or liquid in the last 5 minutes of cooking. So you have a corn chowder, you have some kind of clam chowder. It's just simmering away on your stove. A handful of raw peeled shrimp, drop in, stir, walk away, come back in 5 minutes, sherry, and you have gone from good to fantastic, like that. And for me, I'll take a hack like that any day of the week. Oh, and don't forget about tacos, because I love tacos. I have a taco restaurant, it's called Not Tacos. One of our top selling tacos, it's called Kelly's Shrimp Taco, named it after my wife. She liked that. Okay, chicken, this is great. Yes, I'll take that Jill. Jill's the best, everybody. Everybody should have a Jill. Thank you, ma'am. I'll take that, you can have those guys. All right, so check this out. This is pretty fun. I also have a burger restaurant. It's called Sam Burgers, and the chicken smash burger is a very popular one. So here's how this goes down. Producer Jeff, have a chimichurri skewer if you want. You were waiting for that. Okay. Here's what we do. We take our base, we put this guy, we put him back on, take the lid off. So let me show you what we're dealing with here. There you go. Signature Farms, a value pack, boneless, skinless chicken thighs. When they're on sale, I buy an extra one, I keep it in my freezer. This is the best thing for the grill, for anything. And yes, chicken breasts have a place in this world. Not much of a place in my world because I prefer the dark meat. It's so much more tender and juicy and fantastic. Oh, one more thing, Jill. Please, that little brown handled pan, the speckled one, I'll take that. So these are the guys that you want. So we're gonna take about a pound of them. It's gonna look like this. And if I had my cutting board here, which I didn't think about, I'm just gonna cut these guys into rough pieces. Okay, now, so sometimes there's fat, right? Like this. And you can look at that as a bad thing. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if there's giant pieces of it, I would take it off. But I look at fat, fat means flavor, and that's what we want. Thank you, miss. Fat means flavor. It's very important. In fact, we have a t-shirt that says, if fat means flavor, then I'm freaking delicious. So don't freak out. That's gonna be your friend in the end. So this goes into our processor here. Wow, I said that in my best Canadian accent. Processor. That's what they say up there. Okay, now I can push this away. Now I'm gonna wash my hand. I'm gonna make this very clear. We're dealing with chicken here. And chicken is not one of those things that you really want on you because it can have little bits of bacteria and stuff, and you don't want that. We're gonna cook it and kill it, and that's fine. And I'll clean that up in a second. The other thing that you don't want to do not, and I cannot stress this enough, do not wash your chicken. The USDA will tell you you're only doing one thing when you're washing chicken. You're spreading the potential bacteria. The water hits it and it splashes around. So don't do that. You don't have to. All right. We have only a couple things here that I thought I had. salt and pepper. Nobody move. Salt and pepper here. And, oh, and garlic powder. But I'm going to tell you right now that I forgot the garlic powder. So pretend I'm putting it in. See, well, I promised this at the beginning. I'd forget something, and I just have. So we do this. We're going to pulse this because we don't want to turn this into chicken puree. We want it to resemble ground chicken, ground beef. And yes, you can buy ground chicken at the supermarket, but it's ground breast meat. And you know, I've told you how I feel about that. It's not my thing. So let's pulse. There you go. Chancy boy, can you have a look in there? Like, I know some people are going to say that's not all that attractive. And maybe it isn't all that attractive, and that's okay. But it is what it is. And look, we're making these ourselves. So I'll use this spot. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to make 2-ounce balls, just like this. If you put a little oil on your hand, make it a little bit easier. A 2-ounce ball of chicken looks like that. Boop, just like that. That is going to become our smash patty, and it's going to be great. Now I have to wash my hands again. And then I have to figure out, oh, hey, Jill. When I start cooking here, would you just come, like, wipe this down really well? Because it's got, you know, all the bad things on it. All right. So I don't need to show you all of those. What you're going to do is you're going to do this, and you're going to put them on a little tray. You're going to get 8 out of a pound of chicken. They're going to look like that, 2 ounces each. You're going to put them in the fridge for about a half an hour. They'll just firm up a little bit. It'll make life a little bit easier when you go to cook them. Now we're going to make 2 things that are going to go on this because it can't just be that, right? So the first one is going to be this lime cilantro aioli. So we start with about a half a cup of mayo and the juice of half a lime. We squeeze this in. And then we've got some chopped cilantro. That goes in. And we mix. This, you put this on anything you want. This will make you very, very happy and popular. That's one. The other thing that we're doing is we're going to saute some peppers and onions. And this is a poblano, aka pasilla. You see them by different names. Whenever I need a green pepper for anything, I never reach for a green pepper. I reach for this. And it's not that there's a much difference in spice level. It's a little bit hotter, but nothing to freak out about. But it's just a much better taste. It's much more interesting. So we're going to saute these 2 things in this pan that I've got on the heat and a little bit of oil. And oil will go in like this. And then these guys will go in, both of them at the same time. There you go. I don't want to burn myself. So over the next, hang on one sec. Yeah, and then you can come have all of this if you want. Over the next few minutes, these are going to soften. They're going to be amazing. Remember me forgetting things? My aioli. Needed garlic. So I will add 2 cloves I've got in here. Oh, beautiful. Okay, now we're there. I can give you that back. Great stuff, great stuff, great stuff. Hey, Jill, could I have the plastic tip tongs too? So just keep these going. By the way, you want something to do in advance? Do this in advance. This does not have to be last minute. But now we've got buns, and I've got 2 little brioche buns readily available in the bakery section that I'm going to cut, and we're going to toast these guys up. Thank you. When the time comes. Yeah, you can come have this now. Thank you. Hey everybody, this is Jill. Hi. Hi. Jill works very hard behind the camera to make me look good in front of it. This is great. This is great. A little mix of peppers and onions. Make everybody happy. So now let's think about toasting our buns, and we can do that. I'm going to put just a little bit of oil here and put these kids on. And this is very hot, so it's not going to take long. Look, already there. See, here's the thing. I walk past picnics at times, and I see people with cold hot dog buns, cold hamburger buns. And, oh, hey, Jill, this little ball of chicken can go too. Yeah, yeah. And I think, people, why are you doing that? You're not just doing it for heat, you're doing it for texture. It's about that. The texture, the everything. This is great. Okay, these guys are doing beautifully. Leave them to do their thing. And now, the chicken. Oh, you took it away?
I did.
Yeah, I need that back. Oh, here it is. Sorry, this one. Sorry, I got confused. Now this is going to go fast. So we want to have our cheese ready for this, which is right here. We've got some white cheddar slices, which is a great way to go. But because they're small, I'm going to take one slice, fold it in half, and then like that, and this is what will go on this. So we're ready for that. The peppers and the onions are doing their thing beautifully. Maybe one more little shot of that. A tiny bit of salt and pepper in there. And we're off to the races. Now we're talking. Just softening, just softening. And if it's not happening fast enough because you're trying to do too many things, I would just a little shot of water. Back on here. It'll soften them up a little bit better, a little quicker. Okay, chicken time. We ready? So we need oil because we don't want anything to stick. And we can go like this and like this. There we go. It's all you need to do, right? We'll season these guys. We're always seasoning, but because they're small and thin, we're only going to season one side. And I keep kosher salt and ground pepper mixed together always because I use them so often as a team. They should be together. These guys are great. I'm just going to hurry these guys along a bit. Now we're talking. Now it's pretty. I'm very hot. Suppose I should be. It's outside. It's warm. All right, how we doing? Are we liking? Are we seeing things? Do we have questions about stuff? Remember, like Albertsons, like Safeway, like Vaughn's, like Pavilions, like Tom Thumb, we're here for you guys. So you want to know something? This is your opportunity. As you see the patties turning white around the edges, that's your clue that something's happening. Yes, it's cooking. All right, these peppers and onions are so much better on this. So much better. You know, if I thought of it, I would give this a little shot of soy sauce, like a teaspoon or two. And they won't taste like soy when they're done. They'll just taste, that whole umami level of flavor will just build. Okay, this is good. And now it's time to flip these kids over, get our cheese ready. I'm using a scraper. I don't want to disturb the crust that's on here because that is flavor right there. Oh boy. The producer Jeff only knew what was coming with these guys. Okay. Happening, happening, happening. You want to do this fancy stuff. Get a little lid. Get some water. Come on, you. Just a little bit of water, and we go like this. It steams, the cheese melts. Chancey, why don't you come over here and let's build these guys. Okay, yes, you could criticize me and say that I got a little overzealous on that bottom bun, but that's okay. Now we do this. The thing we always say, don't be cheap with the sauce. Ever. You know, I think people overlook how amazing a smash burger can be, but they certainly always overlook how amazing a chicken smash burger can be. Because this is, I mean, this guy is going to be so delicious and juicy on here. And people won't see it coming. You'll have your family and friends over, and they'll be expecting the same thing again, and you hit them with this, not the same thing. We say this all the time. Don't make the same thing all the time. Oh, man. This is a crazy thing of beauty right here. Look at that. Some more. Load it up, and you're great. There you go. There's one. And there's two. And I'm sorry, I will be the guy. I will be this guy. This guy, look at that. You tell me that's not incredibly beautiful. But it ain't just about looks, ladies and gentlemen. It's about this move right here. I salivated. All right. I would stop right now if I could. It should end on that. That's one of the best things I've put in my mouth in a long time. But we're not going to because we have salmon to do. And you're going to like this. Okay, here we go. Let's do the salmon. Let's put this guy right here. If producer Jeff wants to get into that, he's welcome to. Oh my God. I'm not kidding. You know, Jeff said to me in the beginning, maybe 4 things is too much. I said, no, 4 things is never too much. It's the way to go. We should always do. It's too much. But the salmon is coming now. I'll take that next trade, Joe. My grill's on.
A few more questions for you.
Yes, questions.
Amy in Northern California, shops at Safeway, asked, what's your go-to backyard barbecue dish?
Ooh, my go-to backyard barbecue dish. I mean, listen, I think a tri-tip. A tri-tip, if you looked up beef flavor in the Wikipedia, there should be a picture of a tri-tip there. It is so beef-centric, wouldn't you agree?
It's my favorite.
It's such a great cut. However you want to do it. Smoke it, yes. Grill it, yes. If you grill it, just turn it a lot. I mean, I turn constantly when I'm cooking a decent-sized steak. That's the way to keep it from getting overcooked and gray. When I cook a steak, and I turn it a whole bunch of times, I cut it open. It's wall-to-wall, medium rare is where I like it, top to bottom, end to end. And okay, but here we're going to come over here and we're going to do this. Because this is fun. Thank you. This is this guy right here. Open nature, wild caught Alaskan sockeye salmon. It's beautiful, it's delicate, it's fantastic. These guys are about a pound. 2-3 people will come off of this thing easily. And we're going to cook it on a cedar plank. But the thing to remember is you have to soak these first. Because if you don't soak it, what's going to happen? It's going to become a fire stick in your grill. I'm putting it right on the grill. So I'm going to prep this salmon right here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. And then we're going to get it on the plank that I've been soaking. So we start with a little kosher salt and granulated garlic, just a bit. No pepper this time because I have hot sauce that we're using. So we'll just give this a gentle seasoning. Remember, salt, use the right way. Doesn't make things salty. This salmon will have a much better flavor because I'm using salt, right? So now we've got 2 things. One is some mayo. And I know this might seem like an odd move, but this just adds a layer of moisture that is so fantastic. Use whatever favorite mayo you have. Whatever you got in your pantry, you got it. It's ready for you. Okay, now we follow that up with a little hot sauce, like this. Just a nice little coverage. And now if you're looking at this and you're going, oh, Sam, now I think you're making it too hot with all that hot sauce. I'm going to show you something. Because what comes next is brown sugar. And the brown sugar, yes, is going to tamper down that hot sauce, but it's going to help glaze and add a level of flavor that is just crazy delicious. It's all about flavor, folks. It's all about flavor. So what? This went together in about 10 seconds, maybe? Okay, now let me show you the plank, because this is very important. And I do have to wipe this because I got to be clean. Chance, can you show over here?
Absolutely.
Look what I have. I have a cooler, and in the cooler is a cedar plank, and you have to weight it down, because if you don't, what's going to happen? It's going to float, and the top won't get as wet as it should be. Right, so up this comes. And while it's still like this, while it's still wet, now we're going to take our salmon. We're going to put this guy right on here, like this. Always want to try and find a plank that's a little bit bigger than your salmon, so the salmon's not right at the edges, okay? Now we're going to the grill and put it right on. And this is our last one, folks. And then you're all going to go away and make everything we've made here today. My grill is hot. It still has rib on it, and that's okay. We're going to take this salmon on the cedar plank, put it down, and we're going to shut the lid. So we want to cook this like an oven now. We're going to use the heat that's protected by the cedar plank. It could flare up a little bit. It's still wood, even though I've been soaking it for a while. And you saw I soaked it in a cooler. I was doing a demo one day. There's a bunch of people. I was talking about cedar plank salmon. Somebody said, how do you soak a plank that's big? Because sometimes you get a big side of salmon that's bigger. And I say, I use a big cooler or something for it. Some guy puts his hand up. He goes, I got a better thing. I go, what? He goes, my bathtub. I go, that is maybe the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. And if you do that, sir, please at least promise me you won't tell your guests that you've been in that tub last night, soaping up, and now the thought of it in my mind is not good. So now here's the question. You're wondering, I don't even need to ask producer Jeff what the questions are about this, because you're wondering how long this should be. And I say it's approximately 7 minutes for every inch of salmon thickness. But like the shrimp, remember, you can eat salmon raw. In fact, we do all the time at sushi restaurants. Probably one of the most popular raw sushi items out there, salmon, uncooked. But then 2 days later, after having raw sushi, salmon, you go to your Aunt Ruth's house and she makes some salmon in the oven and it's a little undercooked and you're like, oh, I do not like this. Well, it shouldn't be overcooked. It shouldn't be flaky and dry. It should have some elegance to it. Here's how that's looking. And the other way to do it is you could use an instant read thermometer. And if you've got one, like I have right here, you're looking for your salmon to be probably between 125, 125 to 130. And then you're going to be great. Jeff, we have like 2 minutes. Questions?
Sure.
Let's go.
Laura in Portland, Oregon asked,
Hi, Laura.
any tips for cooking for a crowd that has diverse eating preferences, such as vegans?
Oh, there's always that question. Well, look, you're never going to go wrong with veggies, ever. One of my favorite things to do on this, or in a grill basket right here, are vegetable fajitas. They're fantastic. If you're dealing with a true vegan, you're going to have issues with the sour cream or cheese for it, but you cannot accommodate every single little nuance that someone has. So when we cook here, when we have a family event, I have a daughter-in-law that is not particularly fond of meat, so there's always salmon somewhere on the menu, always. Hey, Jill, I think the little green onions got taken away. I'll take them back. There's always salmon on the menu, but there's always a giant salad. We do a big salad. So like a big salad like this. And then if I want it to be a grilled chicken salad, I would have that on the side. If I'm using shrimp, that would go on the side. If I knew that there were people that didn't really want to be involved in all of that. Look, it's a really good question, and it's a legitimate one because it happens to all of us every time we entertain. You get the phone call from somebody saying, I'm coming, but I don't want this, and I can't have that. You can't accommodate every single thing. So if you deal in general categories, big salads, fish, that kind of stuff, you're going to be fine. So this guy says it's 80. What was that? You can see this, right? Ow, so wait, I gotta bring it closer. $73, so we're not there. But I'm thinking it's starting to feel like it's getting there. Okay, we'll give it another couple of seconds, another couple of minutes, and it will be beautiful. All right. Fresh Pass subscribers, you know the benefits of being a subscriber. And the question is, are you taking advantage of it? Because there's a lot of things that come that, we get emails. They tell us about these coupons and stuff. And listen, stuff's expensive enough these days. If you have a way of saving lots, and I'm pretty certain that your membership fee is more than covered by the benefits that you get. So everybody should be one. And if you're watching this and you're not, why don't you go register after this and say Sam sent you. It'll be meaningless. There's probably not even a spot on the form, but maybe you just write it in someplace. It'd be funny. They'll be at Albertson's head office typing in the new membership people. Who's Sam? Why is Sam on all these things? Because he should be. All right, I'm going to take this off. We've gone long enough, so watch how this is going to go down. I'm going to do one thing to it right here, Chancellor. Look, now it's really starting to bubble and look great. I'm going to give it another blast. That's pretty. That's really pretty. Kill the heat. Let me just do this. Hold on. I'm going to take it off and put it on this, because it looks nice. Right there. Right there. Come back to this side, Chancey. And here's how we finish. That is so pretty. That is so pretty. And then just some green onions over the top. That's my jam. I could eat this all day long. The most beautiful salmon. Oh, wild caught, open nature. What could be better? What could be better than today? I mean, honestly. We made the sweet sticky ribs. We made the chicken smash patties with the lime citrus, the lime cilantro aioli, and the garlic that I remembered to put in. We did the chimichurri shrimp skewers, skewered the right way, I might add, and we ended with salmon, one of my favorite things ever. And you guys have stuck in through all of this. I've gone way long. I was too adventurous. Next time, I promise, I'll do 5 things next time because it's fun. And look how much you've learned. You now are in charge of your own backyard this summer. Go forth, cook, and be good, and enjoy it. And thank you from everybody at Albertsons, and me, and Chance, and Jeff, and Jill. We all say see ya. Don't eat the same thing all the time, guys.